Like this.
Trivia question of the day. Trivia
Like we
question of
wasn't
the
just
day.
all over trivia for the last 30
Right.
minutes, but here we go.
I'm gonna give y'all one more. What is the correct way to curve someone?
What?
The correct way to curve someone. Here's your answers, your questions, whatever. A, bye-bye.
Choices.
Bye-bye.
These are your choices.
B, don't come for me unless I send for you. That's a cold ass line right there, too, just for the record. C, nigga, please.
I ain't begging when I tell her, please.
And the last one, bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia is the most iconic. And then they said it in the NWA movie, the movie Straight Outta Compton. The girl came to the door, her name was Felicia, when they was in the hotel, and they was like, bye, Felicia. So that's why he put it in Friday.
You know what? I agree with you that Bye Felicia is the most one, but I like that other one. Don't come for me unless I send for you. I've been seeing that on like some reality shows. That's like a cold ass line right there. Don't come for me unless I send for you.
I mean, to be honest with you, that it depends on if you use, like, if you curve people or you use the terminology curve. I don't really use that in my, you know what I mean? I don't be curving nobody because I got a stop sign. It been stopped. You know what I mean? People don't, So, but out of the list that you gave, I just know that that's a standout one, that Bye Felicia. You know what I mean?
Right. But y'all answer in the comments, man.
Y'all answer in the comments.
That was that question.
And when y'all be hitting us about like what y'all think, just put it in the comments. You can tell us too. But put it in the comments, and then also you can, when we go live, definitely put it in the chat. And like I said, the next episode of No Cap will be live. That is the goal. For sure.
Before we go get too far, P, I was writing some things down. I don't know. Well, before I even do that, I want to kind of knock out what you sent to me earlier. So
you want to go with question number one? Time to get serious.
Dreams versus goals. Oh, before we go, but I had another question I forgot. We need to redo the ones that we were doing way back in the beginning, that, because we had some raising our inner child, and we did that when we were doing it on the podcast on just like Pandora and things like that. But now we need to do it. We need to redo it and circle back that, so we can readdress raising your inner child. I know we talk about a lot of different things, but I think that was a dope one that we can shed more light to. But we'll come back to that another time. But
absolutely, we can do it anytime you want to. I'll talk about that a lot. I'll talk about it a lot in my mindset coaching sessions. I'll talk about it in my book. So yeah, anytime we can.
Yeah. So we're gonna go with dreams versus goals, the comparison between the two. Run it.
Well, so when it comes to goals and dreams, I think on a couple of levels, there's a response, right? Like a neurological response to even just the words and how people connect to them. So when you say goals, there's a certain type of response that a person has. Like when they think about a goal, same thing for a dream. When they think about dreams, they have like a response. Like I think most people, when they say their dreams, they think of something that is like the ultimate goal, but it's also like what's the word I'm looking for? Not far, like kind of like a fantasy. You know, when you hear the word dream, whether you believe in it being real or not, just the association with the word and the response neurologically is almost like that's the fantasy, that's the ultimate goal. Now, when you talk about goals themselves, the method of achieving goals can be broken down into smaller goals. You have the ultimate goal, which is like the dream life, the dream car, the dream job, the dream career, dream girl would be the ultimate goal, right? and it takes goals, achieving goals along the way to reach the dream. So basically the goals live within the dream. But once you achieve the dream, you achieve the dream by living out the goals. So you have to live out the goals in order to achieve the dream. So you have to set small goals, and then as you continue to progress from goal to goal, you have to live those out in order to get to the ultimate goal, which would be the dream goal. And basically, I believe that the dream is bigger than the goal because it takes the goal to get to the dream. Like that's the ultimate thing, right? You can achieve a goal. People can achieve a goal, but they haven't reached their ultimate goal yet. And so continue to achieve. All of them are important, but the dream is basically the ultimate goal.
Technically, I mean, yeah, you're right. But the way I see it is a dream is a goal that hasn't been accomplished yet, right?
Yeah.
It's something you want to obtain, that this is a fantasy or this is the reality you set in place for yourself. So when you
Even if
start dreaming of it, you're taking yourself from your reality that you're the current state that you're in now. You're taking yourself from that in your subconsciousness. So when you go to sleep, you get into your deep subconsciousness and you go into the reality that you create for yourself in your mind mentally. This is your
yeah,
alternate reality. So when you awake, the significant parts of your dream, the big part, of it, it's manifesting, right? It's now, how do I put it into action? How do I put it into how do I achieve this goal? Because that's what it
yeah,
becomes now, right? This is my goal of getting here. So is it a difference between a goal and a dream? The difference in between the goal and the dream is the goal is to get to the alternate reality and make
yeah,
the alternate reality the actual reality.
yeah.
So if you have a dream, if you can remember any of it, right? If you can remember any of it when you wake up, or if you just daydreaming and you have something that you want, my suggestion would be hurry up and write it down, what you can remember, and then make it a goal to start achieving baby steps of them and go like that. But ultimately, I think the difference in them overall is the goal is what we're doing now to achieve the ultimate goal that we have later. So a dream is nothing but a goal that hasn't been reached or obtained yet.
Absolutely. Yeah, a goal that hasn't been achieved, and that's the ultimate. And like you just pointed out, when you say dream, you can take dream in the sense of dreaming when you go to sleep. And then you can also have dream like I was saying, like people will say dream car, dream girl, attach it to something, dream lifestyle. What would be if you could live your dream lifestyle, what would it be? If you could work your dream job, what would it be? Right. And then if someone actually says, this is my dream job, and they're working for my dream career or my dream girl or my dream car, and they work towards that, well, they have to achieve goals along the way, and they have to live those goals to reach that dream lifestyle or that dream, whatever it might be. So definitely the dream is like you said, and I like how you said it, that it's the goal that hasn't been obtained yet. So, if you both are important though, and it's okay. It's okay to dream. It's okay to have goals. And what is not okay is not to have goals, not to have big, ambitious dreams that you work towards. If you are working towards a goal, if you're working towards a dream, then you're putting work in to improve yourself. And it takes improvement to reach any goal. It takes improvement to achieve any dream. So set goals, set your ultimate dreams, and do the work, because really what you're doing is you are improving. It takes improvement to reach a goal or ultimate dream.
Now, the next question you gave me was discipline. Well, I guess it was more of a statement, but it was a question at the same time. You say
Yeah.
discipline must be paired with consistency. Do I agree or disagree?
To be
and
effective. Yeah.
to be effective. Well, anything that you're doing in general needs to be done with consistency. If you're going to do something, do it correct. And if you can't do it correct, practice it again so you can get it correct. So, yes, uh, discipline needs to be done with consistency. You can't pop your child and say, "Bow, hey, don't do this," and then the next day be like, "Hey, you can do this." You know what I'm saying? And then the next time they do it, you be like, "Hey, you can do this." And then the fourth time they do it, you be like, "Bow, don't do this. I told you don't do it." So be consistent in what you're going to do. Period. Like if you're going to say, "No, I told you you can't do X, Y, Z," then it's no, you can't do this X, Y, Z. If I see you doing it, then it's going to be corrective action behind this. Be it you getting yelled at, me talking to you, whatever the consequence is, you're going to deal with it because consistency is key in whatever part of life we decide to move in, not just discipline, but being diligent in whatever it is. You know what I mean? Just like we say with the goals and dreams, it all goes back to being consistent. If this dream keeps recurring consistently, then you know you need to be working towards achieving it. If this needs discipline several times, then you know you got to keep working towards. Let me to break a bad habit, it take 21 days. So that's consistency. You know what I mean? So it's all consistency is needed in everything.
I
That's my
think,
answer.
well, also I want to shed a little light on how you answered that because this question statement, do you agree or disagree, can be broken down in a lot of different ways, or at least a few. And one of the ways that you just spoke on is that discipline, when you're talking about disciplining someone else or having discipline as a part of a structure, like if you in your home, in your business, you have a way that things are carried out and there's a discipline that of code of conduct, and that discipline is part of the code of conduct to uphold the code of conduct. So being consistent in the discipline is mandatory when you are uh, building a code of conduct for a culture, whether it's at home, whether it's in the business, whether it's in school, whatever it is, because you can't with or if you're even if you're training an animal, you got to be consistent in how you do that. And so when disciplining someone outside of yourself, consistency is definitely key. And discipline doesn't necessarily mean like punishing. It just means that we have a code of conduct and we're going to carry ourselves according to the code of conduct, and we're going to be disciplined enough to hold each other accountable. When I hear this statement and it's asked, do you agree or disagree? I think of something that's most important in any form of discipline, which is self-discipline.
Mm.
Whether you want to discipline someone else, whether you're looking to teach them or not, or if you're talking about discipline for your own self and growth, one of the most important things that most people struggle with, forget about even before we get to consistency, is the best practice of self-discipline. So I think there's a word missing here, and that word is self. People should focus on self-discipline first and foremost, and then being consistent with being in the best practice of self-discipline is what I see as being the most beneficial. And like I always say, being consistent alone is not enough. You have to be consistently progressing, because a person could be consistently doing something wrong, kind of like what you touched on. A person could be consistently doing something wrong and are not the best practices because they haven't taken the time to have use wisdom to educate themselves or learn what the best practices are. So they're just doing something, even if it's out of their best, it's out of their best, it's for their best interest, and they believe that they're doing the best. They may not be, and they could just be consistently. They could be consistently doing the wrong thing. They could consistently be wasting their time. They could consistently be in their own way. So making sure that you're making progressions, consistent progressions, pairing consistency with progression is most
Mm-hmm.
important, right? Proper progression is more important than consistency alone. So I would say being in a practice of self-discipline and being careful not to just be consistent alone, because if a person is being consistent and they're again doing the wrong thing, that consistency and that discipline could just be turned into being hard-headed. That could just turn into a person being hard-headed. So consistently progress, and I think self-discipline is a practice that most people need to put into practice.